In March 2018, Alex Debogorski, Catholic father of 11, veteran of 11 seasons of television, the only cast member to appear in every single episode of Ice Road Truckers, logged onto Facebook to find out whether his show had been canceled. Not because History Channel had called him. They hadn't called anyone. He found out the same way you find out your dentist has closed, by the absence of an appointment that never came. His post read, "Those TV guys from Hollywood are a bunch of bums. We have made Ice Road Truckers for 11 years. He noted that he would have settled for any response at all. A goodbye, a go to hell, anything. It's March, he wrote, and I have not heard a peep from those guys. History Channel's official response to concerned fans, we're not sure yet. 11 years. 138 episodes, a premiere that drew 3.4 million viewers and made network general manager Nancy DeBook declare, with full sincerity, that trucks on a frozen lake in Canada were a great start to a series that showcases why history is so fascinating.
For some other kind of business. So here's hoping for a good season.
Nobody asked the obvious follow-up question. They really should have. This is the story of how a genuinely great television show became a factory, then furniture, then a Facebook post. To understand why Ice Road Truckers worked, you have to understand what television looked like in 2007, and more specifically, what History Channel looked like.
So let the fun begin.
A network that had spent 30 years showing World War II documentaries to an aging audience was watching cable eat itself alive with cheaper, louder, more addictive programming. Deadliest Catch had debuted on Discovery in 2005, following crab fishermen through the Bering Sea, and had essentially invented a new template: blue-collar men, lethal conditions, and a countdown structure that gave each season a natural dramatic arc. It was cheap, it was gripping, and it was pulling an audience that History Channel had never figured out how to reach. Producer Tom Beers, the same man behind Deadliest Catch, walked into history with a pitch that was almost insultingly simple. Every spring, a narrow window of frozen lakes in Canada's Northwest Territories becomes the only road connecting remote diamond mines near Yellowknife to the outside world. Supplies go in, the ice gets thinner, the clock runs down. That's it. That's the show. The premiere on June 17, 2007 drew 3.4 million viewers, History Channel's biggest original ever.
So here we are on the 8th. This is my first trip of the season.
Their #1 telecast in adults 18 to 49. For a network that had been slowly dying of respectability, it was a defibrillator to the chest. And in those first 2 seasons, the show genuinely deserved it. Hugh Rowland was abrasive and competitive in ways that felt earned by decades behind a wheel. Alex Debogorski was a large man with a large family and a larger mouth, who somewhere north of the Arctic Circle would pause between loads to philosophize about God, money, and the general uselessness of people who had never driven a truck. These were not people who had auditioned for television. Television had found them. And for a brief, genuinely exciting moment, that difference was visible on screen.
25 in Edmonton. I'm working for CAG this year, hauling fuel, and we're ready to head north.
History Channel had accidentally made something real. They would spend the next decade figuring out how to ruin it. The first sign that something was wrong wasn't a scandal. It was a smoke bomb. Season 5, 2011. Alex Debogorski's truck fills with smoke mid-route. Dramatic music. Cut to Alex looking concerned. Cut to a producer looking concerned. Cut back to Alex, who is fine, because the smoke bomb that had been placed in his truck by the production team had performed exactly as intended. Fans on the show's own forums clocked it immediately. The thread is almost more depressing than the incident itself. Seriously? You are just now finding this out? Wrote one long-term viewer to a newer fan who had expressed shock. This show is not a documentary. It is simply a show that acts like it is. A show that acts like it is. For 4 seasons, Ice Road Truckers had mostly kept its end of that bargain. The ice was real, the cold was real, the loads were real. By season 5, that was apparently no longer enough, and the gap between what the show claimed to be and what it actually was had become wide enough to drive a truck through. A truck with a smoke bomb in it. Cast member Dave Redmon was less diplomatic about the whole thing. In an interview with Overdrive magazine, he described exactly what it felt like to be a character in a show that had already decided who you were going to be. They had scripted me to be the bad guy on the show, and it just scripted me to get fired. His on-screen termination, aired as a dramatic, spontaneous moment in season 5, had been planned in advance. The firing was real. The surprise was not. Real truckers were not impressed. Industry forums filled with complaints that the show had turned a job requiring extreme patience and precision into a continuous near-death experience. Maya Sieber, one of the few women to appear on the show, told Trucker News in 2011 that the dangerous sequences were genuine, but added that you can't really capture how crazy it is on television, which meant the show's actual problem was the opposite of what viewers assumed. The real job was more dangerous than what they were watching and less dramatic.
Always something out here, something to make you entertained.
Ice Road Truckers had found something genuinely extreme and decided the truth wasn't cinematic enough. History Channel agreed. This tells you everything you need to know about History Channel. The cast started leaving. Hugh Rowland, the polar bear, the show's original antagonist, the man whose rivalry with Debogorski had given the first seasons their spine, disappeared before season 9. In early 2014, he filed a lawsuit against producer Will Morrison, alleging that Morrison's reckless driving had caused an accident, leaving him with severe and permanent injuries. His wife filed a separate claim that she had been deprived of, quote, love, companionship, and the enjoyment of sexual relations. History Channel did not issue a statement. The case was never publicly resolved. Rowland never came back, which, given what the show had apparently done to him, was probably the most honest ending anyone on Ice Road Truckers ever got. The episode count told its own story.
Come in and we load them up, and it takes us about 2 months, and all the tanks get emptied.
16 episodes in seasons 4, 5, and 6, 12 in season 7, 12 in season 8, 10 in season 9. Networks don't reduce episode orders because a show is going well. They reduce them because they're buying time, keeping a brand alive at minimum cost while they figure out what to replace it with. By 2015, History Channel had already replaced IRT in spirit, if not yet in the schedule, with a roster of shows that had borrowed its demographic without its production values. Pawn Stars, American Pickers, Storage Wars, shows where the only thing at stake was whether someone would pay $50 for a vintage lamp. Then Darrell Ward died.
Okay, we're at Meadows, the first check-in point to go on the ice. I'm leading a convoy of 4.
Ward had joined the cast in season 6 as a Montana trucker and had immediately become one of the show's most popular characters. Warm, capable, and authentic in a way that the show increasingly needed. On August 28, 2016, while season 10 was still airing, Ward was killed in a plane crash near Clinton, Montana, alongside pilot Mark Malotz. He was 52. The remaining episodes of season 10 were dedicated to his memory. His son Reno drove some routes in season 11 as a tribute. It was a genuinely human moment in a show that had spent years manufacturing them. Season 11 premiered on August 24, 2017. No Hugh Rowland. No Darrell Ward. Debogorski, who had been there since the beginning and would be there until the end, drove his truck across the ice one more time. The season finale aired on November 9, 2017, and then nothing happened. No press release. No farewell special. No phone call. That same month, Telicho Lantron, the trucking company that had been central to the show's later seasons, shut down entirely, having lost $18 million over 2 years and owing creditors $60 million more.
I'm currently on the ice road right now. I am sick. This is my 3rd year up here.
38 of its 43 employees were laid off. The company that had built its profile on a television show about the romance of ice road trucking couldn't make the economics of ice road trucking work. History Channel, for once, had accidentally made a point about history. By March 2018, when Debogorski logged onto Facebook to post his bum's comment, the show had been over for 4 months. History Channel's official response to fans asking when it was coming back, "We're not sure yet." History Channel was very sure. They just didn't think anyone deserved to be told. Here's what nobody at History Channel ever had to admit, because nobody at History Channel ever had to answer for anything. Ice Road Truckers was not killed by scandal or by declining ratings or by the slow attrition of its cast. It was killed by mathematics. The show's entire appeal rested on a single promise, that what you were watching was real.
Then I've only got 17,000 liters on board.
Real danger, real men, real consequences. That promise was also a budget. And like any budget, it could be spent. Every season of manufactured drama, every scripted firing, every smoke bomb in Debogorski's truck was a withdrawal from an account that could not be replenished. Once the audience stopped believing, the show had nothing left to sell. You cannot manufacture authenticity, you can only use it up. The geography problem was just as terminal. Ice road trucking happens in specific places, on specific routes during a specific window of weeks each year. There are only so many frozen lakes, only so many ways to film a truck crossing one. Deadliest Catch survived 15 seasons and counting because the Bering Sea is genuinely different every year. Crab populations shift, regulations change, captains age out, and new ones emerge with their own histories and catastrophically expensive boats. The ocean is an infinite dramatic engine. The Northwest Territories are not. IRT was always drawing from a shallow pool, and every season it drew from it, the pool got shallower. The cast problem followed the same logic. Alex Debogorski, Hugh Rowland, and Darrell Ward were not characters that producers had invented.
My name's Christian, and I come from there, central Newfoundland. Come up here every year to load trucks.
They were people who had existed in the world before the cameras arrived, which is precisely what made them compelling. When Rowland left via lawsuit and Ward left via plane crash, no casting call in the world could replace what had been lost. The show spent its final seasons auditioning substitutes for something that had never been a role. And then there was History Channel itself, systematically dismantling the thing that had made IRT valuable in the first place. Every Pawn Stars, every Swamp People, every Mountain Men that followed used the same demographic playbook without the same production discipline. By the mid-2000s, IRT was competing with its own imitations on its own network, and the imitations were cheaper. A channel that had accidentally made something genuine had industrialized the accident until it was indistinguishable from everything else in the schedule. Senator Charles Grassley tweeted about the drift. Gravity Falls invented a fictional channel called the Used to Be About History Channel. A network once mocked as the Hitler Channel for its World War II obsession had replaced actual history with ancient alien theorists and storage unit speculators. Ice road truckers had opened that door. It just didn't expect to be the thing that got left outside. Here is the truth about ice road truckers, the version that History Channel would never put in a press release. For about 2 seasons, it was genuinely great television. Not great for a reality show, not great for cable, just great. A camera crew had found a group of people doing something extraordinary in one of the most visually spectacular environments on the planet and had the good sense to mostly stay out of the way. History Channel has not made that mistake since. And then the people who owned it decided that wasn't enough, that it needed more drama, more conflict, more smoke bombs and more trucks, that the audience needed to be managed rather than trusted, that authenticity was a marketing angle rather than the actual product. They were wrong about all of it, and the ratings told them so, and they kept going anyway, because that is what television networks do when they have confused a formula for an insight. In October 2025, Ice Road Truckers came back. 8 years after History Channel forgot to make a phone call, the network decided the brand still had value. Lisa Kelly returned. Todd Dewey returned. Eli Lehrer, History Channel's executive VP, called it a new era of storytelling. Alex Debogorski, the only man who drove in all 11 original seasons, the man who found out his show was canceled by the absence of a voicemail, did not come back.
There, you can see GV for our gross volume is 14,000 liters we're putting in the first compartment.
He had apparently heard enough from those TV guys from Hollywood. Whether the revival lasts or quietly disappears again without a phone call is almost beside the point. Ice Road Truckers was a show that found something real, spent a decade making it fake, and then wondered why nobody cared anymore. History Channel built its modern identity on that mistake, which is, come to think of it, the most historically significant thing the channel ever did. Like, subscribe, and let us know in the comments which reality show deserves its autopsy next. Which voice do you prefer? The one you're hearing now or the new one? Let us know in the comments. We're listening, unlike some networks we know.